What is the longest movie ever made? I have no idea. But I know that some people like to watch 7-hour movies. This by Snrub? I don't know how to say that. Anyways, we're gonna look at this. It makes a movie thingy when you like it. Isn't that funny? Isn't that great? I like that. Anyways, we'll look at this. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. We'll go in.
You mean to tell me that Avatar, The Way of Water...
Avatar Way of Water was 3 hours and 12 minutes. First Avatar was 4 hours and 42 minutes. Endgame was just 3 hours and 2 minutes. Interesting. Well, just quote-unquote.
...is 3 hours long. What if I get bored? What if I need to stretch my legs? What if I have to pee? To some people, watching a 3-hour movie is a painful experience. But as it turns out, there's actually no upper limit to how long you can make a movie. And while, realistically, you're going to have to take these kinds of movies in multiple sittings because the length is long enough for you to dehydrate to death, it is interesting to look at these obscenely long movies.
How long is the cure for insomnia? 87 hours? That can't be 87 hours. How long can you go without water? It's about 3 days. 87 hours? What the fuck?
That evidently exist, and to question whether they deserve their length, or if it's just some ego project stretched out to 500 hours so it seems notable. Satan Tango is a movie that most people only know about because of its exceptional runtime. Whenever people bring it up, they usually mention the fact that it's 7.5 hours long.
7.5 hours. I don't know if I would ever do that, I'll be real. I'd never have the power. I'd have to do this not in one sitting, that's for sure.
That, and the scene where the girl poisons her cat. You basically have to dedicate an entire day of your life to watch this movie, which is what the director intended. But it's all paced very deliberately, and stuff is actually happening throughout the entire film, so I'd say that it's earned its runtime. Going forward, many of the longest movies are documentaries, which makes sense, as documentaries are generally less expensive to produce than actual movies. Stuff like...
Yeah, 30,000 to 1.5 million, that is not as much. Made in America, 7 hours and 47 minutes. OJ. Okay, Made in America, interesting.
OJ, Made in America, Showa, and Dead Souls rank around the 7 to 8 hours category. But How Yukon Moved the Mountains tallies up to a whopping 12 hours, 43 minutes.
12 hours, 43 minutes, but a documentary. Are we really calling that a movie? Would you really throw that into the same category?
Which is very long. It's about the last years of the Cultural Revolution, with the spotlight placed on rural workers inhabiting their new collectivist society. Out One is just 12 minutes longer, but is a very different kind of a movie. It's a French mystery film from 1971.
It's just French, so it doesn't matter. That's still crazy. That's just insane. Who has the time to watch this? I don't really watch documentaries. The only documentaries that I can watch are dinosaur documentaries, especially Walking with Dinosaurs. I just could watch that over and over and over and over and over again, and I wouldn't mind.
And its story is convoluted to say the least. Just look at the size of the Wikipedia plot synopsis. The IMDb summary for it says, following the May 1968 civil unrest in France, a deaf mute and a con artist simultaneously stumble upon the remnants of a secret society. Longer still is Resin, a Swedish documentary about different people's perceptions of nuclear weapons, clocking in at 14 hours 33 minutes. It's the longest documentary.
14 hours 33 minutes? What's the time for that?
Officially listed by Wikipedia. You can actually find the whole thing on YouTube, and it ends with some bong children talking about how nuclear weapons are bad or something. Seems like a bit of a letdown to me. Wikipedia's longest narrative film is
What? Do you wanna have say nuclear bombs are good? You know, plot twist?
Ecta Cinema Banabo, or simply The Innocents. It was shot over the course of 9 years, and lasts a towering 21 hours and 5 minutes.
What the actual fuck? 21 hours and 5 minutes? I would need like 10 days to watch this.
That's about the length of a flight from Sydney to London. The movie portrays filmmakers struggling in the wake of the immensely destructive Bangladesh Liberation War. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a very long movie right here. But in the grand scheme of things, 21 hours just isn't that impressive. When we leave the
What do you mean, not impressive? Bro, 21 hours is not impressive? That's diabolical.
comfortable grasp of Wikipedia and head into the dark, perverse depths of IMDb, it quickly becomes apparent that experimental films can eclipse this kind of length again and again and again. As an example, take the longest and most meaningless movie in the world. There isn't actually any movie, it's just random footage spliced together to eventually reach 48 hours. In a similar vein, the much more well-known
Well, that's not really a movie, right, then? I've tried to find that movie to watch. It isn't anywhere, thank God. I'm praying that it appears somewhere now.
Cure for Insomnia reaches 87 hours in length, and it's just random
It
garbage.
did cure my insomnia. 1 out of 10 by Eddie the Martian in 2019. I've suffered from insomnia for a long time. It's very difficult for me to fall asleep. When I do, I can only sleep for about an hour max. When I heard of this movie, I was excited. Finally, I might be able to sleep well for once in my miserable life. I thought to myself, but 3 days and 15 hours later, after I finished this motion picture, I tried to sleep. I have not slept since I watched this cursed movie. The X-rated footage spliced in with the rock of the poem. Everything I see it all again when I close my eyes. I've gone to multiple therapists, multiple doctors. They say they tapped into something in my past. I've been traumatized. I haven't slept since I watched this movie 2 weeks ago. My eyes burn, my body feels broken. I don't know if I can go on. 0 out of 10 did not fix my insomnia. I might die. 32 out of 36 found this helpful.
Again, there's a movie called Beijing, which is just a car driving around in Beijing for 150 hours. But is that really as
150 hours?
impressive as Modern Times Forever, a movie showing the gradual decay of the Stora Enso headquarters? Check it out if you have 10 days to spare.
Modern Times Forever for 240 hours.
Better yet, watch Ambiance, which is 3 times as long and about even less. It's just
3 times? 240? 480? 720? 720? Are you fucking kidding me?
really slow, looping footage again and again. The movie most cited as being the longest ever comes next. Logistics, a movie about the creation of a pedometer in reverse chronological order, lasts 857 hours, which is a
Over 800 hours. Over 850 hours. No, you should not watch that. What is wrong with you?
very long time for a movie. To watch this, you'd need 35 consecutive days, or the approximate lifespan of one book lice.
If statistically, I watch about shows for about 2 hours a day, okay? Statistically, right? We're doing the math, okay? We're doing the math. What was it, 857, right? Statistically, right? I would need, I'm not even kidding, 428 days to finish this. Still less watch time than One Piece.
IMDb has 2 longer films in their repertoire. Searching
Even longer?
for America, parts 1 and 2, supposedly goes on for 905
905 hours and 21 minutes.
hours, although there's very little information provided on the movie. The IMDb trivia page talks about it with an ambiguous tone. It's inspired by a Steven Spielberg short, and is rumored to feature a montage that celebrates public figures who've achieved the American dream. It's directed by a guy named Connor Charles, who doesn't have much info, outside a sandwich shop in California being named after him. The other movie is simply titled 100, and has even less to go off of. Its rudimentary cover art boasts about being 991 hours.
991 hours long. I've tried finding them. I can't find anything. I think it's fake. Or that might be the case. That might be the case, yeah.
Long. With just 35 ratings, the only information we know is the fact that the quote-unquote movie shares the same writer as another absurdly long, obscure IMDb relic, vtuber, a film that reaches a mere 167 hours, has similar cover art. This movie actually has a description. Random scribbles in long length prove that just about anything can be called art. And I'd say that that's a pretty fitting note to end the video on. And as for the question in the title, it's either going to be Logistics or 100, although I'm not entirely sure if 100 is an actual movie or just a shitpost.
I think it's just a shitpost, because there's no way it isn't. There's gotta be a shitpost, there's no way it isn't. Holy fuck. If it is, if that actually exists, 991 hours, I have many questions. I have a lot of questions. How this is possible. That's crazy. That is insane. That is really insane. So we actually go by what the one that is 800 hours is on YouTube too. Anyways, horrible. Never gonna watch these. Like, comment, and subscribe.